All right, so the next one we will pull out is a pure coastal. This is actually a striped coastal. This is from a Lemke line. It's a line that's been line bred by a couple of people. Specifically, this is the only animal out of this whole batch that I didn't produce myself. I picked this up from Michael Pinnell at NERBC Dallas. This animal was just really clean for a pure coastal. It's a Lemke line. I want to give a shout out to Mike. This is a great coastal. I can't wait to grow her up and breed her to some of my animals. Again, not an expensive animal. You're looking at probably $250 for something this nice. Grow to be about 8-9 feet max. Perfect carpet python in my opinion. Great starter snake. Okay. Let's see who else we can get out of here next. All right, let's grab this guy. This is kind of a rare snake, still in the United States. If I can get her out. This is actually an inland carpet python. Really easy to tell from other carpets. As you can see, they have kind of a steel blue color. Real interesting dark gray or black belly. Kind of a slate gray, a little brown all across the back. These actually develop brown saddles as they get older, so you're looking at a snake that's kind of a slate gray, black, and brown. It's the only carpet python with that color. And there aren't too many of these in the United States. They have not successfully been bred in the United States yet. All of them have been imported from Europe, although there should be some babies produced by one or two folks this year. I have two pairs. This is the younger of my two females. It's actually from a completely unrelated bloodline from well, pretty much all of the inlands in the United States, except for one other gentleman. About 90% of the inlands that are in the United States and in Europe come from one particular bloodline, but this bloodline is separate and was identified in Europe last year, and I was able to acquire this one female. So I have two males now and two females. This animal's a year younger than my other animals, which should be big enough to go next year. Okay, so we have an escapee. This is actually a decent animal to show you though. This is a jaguar carpet python, one that's in shed. In fact, the skin is peeling off as I pull him out of here. That's really good color, but because he's so highly in shed, I actually call this a tiger retic jag. When they were first born, especially the head with the stripe down the back reminded me of a super tiger retic. This is just a crazy pattern for a jaguar carpet. I actually hatched 3 of these last year. I don't know if it's hereditary or not, but I don't think so. I think it might have just been an incubation temperature issue. That's just not a pattern that you normally would see, especially with the really clean stripes like you see next to the head and down the sides. Really cool animal. It's real dark right now, like I said, but this is a female. She is shedding. As you can see, I can pull a little bit of the skin off here from the shed. Really nice yellows underneath, but not showing yet because the skin hasn't come off yet. So we'll put her in. Oh, again, you can tell it's a jaguar. Really clean white belly. Now don't be fooled. Sometimes as you go down an animal, they will develop some black, but typically the top 1/3 of a jag is very clean right down the middle without any markings at all. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy out. This one's also in shed, so it does not look very good. But in a day or two, this cloudy white will come off and we'll have a nice yellow snake. This is actually the granite jaguar. I've actually produced 5 of these now over the last 2 years, 3 last year and 2 the year before. Of all 5 of them, I've shipped 4 of them out of the country. And as far as I know, unless someone has shipped one in from one of the other folks that's produced them outside of the United States, this is the only one, or was the only one in the country. Until about 24 hours ago, because I just hatched 3 more babies this last night. So they were pipping the eggs last night just fine, and I've actually got 2 or 3 of them out of the egg now, cruising around the egg boxes. So you can tell it's got that same clear belly like a jag, but a crazy pixelated and broken up pattern. I think there are less than 24 of these worldwide. I would guess that there are probably 18 or less, to be honest, but I don't really know. And I'm almost certain that I'm the only person in the United States with them now. I know there are a few in Canada and several in Europe, but difficult to produce. It's a heterozygote granite with the dominant jaguar mutation combined, so it takes a couple of generations to actually produce this animal. And even when you breed the heads together, it's still only like a 1 in 16 shot of producing one. So anyway, I'm sorry, 1 in 8 of producing one. So I'll put this guy back and pull another one out. All right, so these guys might be a little bit more difficult to get out of here. So instead of unwinding them, we'll just bring them both out together. Now you're looking at two different animals here. One is a jaguar and one is a jungle. The jungle is from our black striped line. I call it a line, but I really haven't established the trait. I've got 8 animals that were hatched from this clutch. 6 of them were partially striped or completely striped. This is one of the animals that's fully striped. She has, as you can see, really bright yellow colors and a solid black stripe down her back, which is practically unheard of in the carpet python world. In fact, I've never seen one. Usually you see the yellow stripe down the back, not the black. And then the other animal here is what I call a red jaguar, to be more specific, a red hypo jaguar. Now, these are called red hypos to me because there are very few red jaguars that hatch that have this really rusty red color. And they also have a very, very bright, clean background and underbelly color. They're very, 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 very light. So hypo for a lot of ball python guys means a ghost-like appearance. But with these red hypos, a lot of guys call it a marketing tool, but you know, we hatch 3 or 4 of these a year out of probably 40 or more jaguars that we hatch every year. And only a few of them are really bright and really clean on the under pattern like this. And really the only way to describe that is a lessening of the black. There's just not a lot of black on the under pattern. And again, when you look at the belly, you can clearly see that this animal is just really clean. Lots of reds, lots of browns, very little black. So I call these red hypos. It's not an inheritable trait like a het hypo as far as I can tell, but it is something different and it is reproducible generation after generation with the line of jaguars that we work with. Now, this is not exclusive to me. There are several other guys that work with red jags, and a few other guys have produced some babies, including this year, that look to me to be red hypos. So we continue to use the term because we think it applies. So that's pretty much it.